What up, YouTube? Webhead Mike here, and I got to see it, Creed 3 in theaters, and I've had a few days to ponder on it, and boy, do I say this is good. Now, maybe not quite as good as the first two, but there's still so much happening in this movie, I can't help but feel enthralled by it. There's so much to dig into, so let's just get the biggest elephant out of the room first. There sadly is no Rocky in this movie, and his absence definitely was felt for me. However, in my headcanon, since there's nothing proving the opposite, I just want to happily believe that Rocky is enjoying the sunset of his years, visiting and reconnecting with his son and grandson. Honestly, that's about as happy of an ending I can hope for. I know in some interviews, Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone are still very friendly. So I have to imagine any friction must be coming from a studio, director somewhere, I don't know. Now, as for the story itself, that's what you're here for, and that's what I'm there for. As I suspected, someone from Adonis's youth comes back into his life, and Adonis only has the life he has because this old friend of his took the heat for something that he ultimately bailed out on. And there's a lot in the movie, by the way, that shows how much pathos he's had to deal with and build up so that way it never came through. And of course, it also begs the question, how come this good friend of his was never heard from ever? Now, they wrapped it up in a bow because Adonis's adopted mother kept them from him in a shoebox, so kept all the letters from him. And there's all this question about, well, why didn't you come and write me? Because again, he's of course angry at her for keeping this from him, but really, he's mad at himself for not having the courage to dare go and meet him. Probably because of all the shame he felt. That's what I would happen to imagine. Now, the fight choreography in this is hit or miss compared to whether it's better or worse than previous Creed movies or Rocky. There are some scenes that are really, really well done, especially towards the end. There aren't many shots that happen away from the camera. There's not a lot of hard cuts. In the previous two ones, I can remember seeing a lot of continuous shots that showed these two dudes are duking it out. In this one, I do see some, but it's not 100% or nearly 100%. Another thing that was missing was when you look at the fight, I didn't see them taking the wear and tear that would happen in the course of these fights. Now, thanks to the friend I saw this with, I've also gotten to see quite a few MMA fights, and those are way worse than anything you're going to see in Creed 3. Which is a shame because the dudes at play are clearly at the top of their game, and even in Creed's case, where he's about almost a decade or two out of the business, into the business, then back into the business. So I can expect him having some difficulty getting back into the game. But no, yeah, you look at all the damage that they should be taking, like in the previous Rocky movies or Creed movies, you see the wear and tear on them, and the actors do a really good job at portraying it despite whatever makeup or whatever lighting there is that's accentuating the situation. They are acting like they are hurt. And while they certainly do act hurt in Creed 3, I don't see nearly the visceralness that I would feel from previous installments. But again, still solid, but it's not quite what it was. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Amazon Prime's first attempt at putting out a big movie through MGM. So if it's their first outing, I gotta give some leeway, but Amazon Prime isn't exactly hurting to throw around cash. I mean, they were able to blow, and I mean blow, $1 billion on that terrible Rings of Prime series. Which, by the way, again, that money did not show on screen. This movie definitely saw the money on screen. Can't say it was wasted. It was a beautiful movie, great installment, and I don't know if we're going to see another Creed movie, but I would be down to see Creed mentor a future prospect. Maybe that'll be Creed 4. Maybe it'll be another fighter. But considering how much time we've gotten to know these characters, I would want to give them one more movie, so maybe one more Creed movie, and then we can get to him mentoring the next guy. But again, there is still one more thing I'd like to applaud the movie on. In the opening fight where Creed is having a rematch with the British boxer from the first movie, the movie did this great job at showing how Adonis is looking at how the guy's muscles are contracting or relaxing. And it pays off when he wins the fight by hitting the lats, the latimus dorsis, at the right moment to make each of them seize, so that way the guy couldn't breathe for like a good 10-15 seconds. You know, not enough to suffocate him, but enough to put him down and him not get up because he's struggling to breathe for this brief moment. So got him on the knockdown and knockout. Excellent use of it, excellent characters. And again, there's this one great moment towards the end, I'm going to call it zero periphery, where everything else fades out and the fighters just think about each other. What's he doing? What am I doing? What do I got to do? What does he got to do? And nothing else matters. Beautiful representation on screen. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you seen Creed 3? Do you want to? Did I spoil it? Even if I didn't, you can't spoil, you can't spoil what's rotten, and you can't really take away from something that's good by letting them know what's coming. Sometimes, if something's really good, doesn't matter if you see it coming. Anyway, that's all for now. Webhead Mike, out.